I think so.
Heather, when you think of a Subaru, what type of a person drives a Subaru?
Lots of my friends.
When you see like a little Jetta, what kind of a person would drive a Jetta?
A very practical person likes to zip around town.
Yeah. So what if you see somebody that drives like a 1982 Jeep Wrangler? What kind of a person drives that car?
They like adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we buy the car to match our lifestyle, or at least the lifestyle that we want. And so it's kind of fun to like play guess the person by what they're driving.
Sure is.
But when it comes to us and our own cars and our own vehicles, the outside is one thing and our lifestyle is one thing, but what is the inside of our car saying about us? And I'm not talking about what's under the hood. I'm talking about what's under your front seat. What's in between your front seat and the console? What's stuck or sticky in the back seat of your minivan? What is the inside of your car saying about you?
I married a car guy. So I learned very quickly that the inside of my car matters. I mean, I always liked it to be clean, but my version of clean and his were
way different.
Yeah. So I do really think it seems silly. You're probably like, why are we talking about cars when we should be talking about our physical fitness or our house being organized? Because your car is an extension of you. And if you're like me, it is a major part of your life. Well, until recently.
Right.
I've never driven so little in my entire life.
I'm getting 23 days to the gallon.
Yes. I know. There was like a 48-hour period where I didn't get in my car the other day. That was weird. Anyway, back on track. But yes, your car is a huge extension of you, whether it's because you live in it like I do, driving kids all over town and running from one business appointment to the next, or whether it's because it's just your thing and you like nice cars. But it is always a reflection of you. And does your car say what you want it to about you? If you were to go and pick up a friend, would you want them in your car? Or would you be like, I'll be over in a minute and hurry quick and clean?
I've done that before. Yeah. Or, move the kid's car seat in the back and like brush all the Cheerios and stuff onto the floor. I'm sorry. Here's the wet wipe.
Yep.
You wipe down the seat.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's a very common thing, especially for moms. But if you think about it, it's very much a reflection of you and your life. If you have your act together, you generally have a pretty clean and organized car. Mm-hmm. I know for sure I have pulled up and parked next to cars when you just kind of like you're getting out and you happen to look in their window. And you're like, yikes. Oh. And I always jump to, I wonder what their house looks like. I wonder what their life looks like. Because generally, if you are willing to live surrounded by wrappers and garbage and whatever else, then you probably are not taking good care of your body or your home. So take a look in your car and be honest about it and see, what does it say about you? And what is it saying to you that maybe you need to focus on? I know for sure that when obviously your car gets cluttered with kid things. I'm not talking about kid things. I'm talking about wrappers, food containers, things that are just filth and dirt, as opposed to squeaky toys for your car seat or, the little whatever tchotchkes that kids bring.
The hockey puck, the hockey bag,
right? Or the baseball mitt. Those are life, right? Those are life. I'm talking about the other stuff. And take a look at it and think, is this a reflection of me? And it might be. It may be a really good opportunity to look in the mirror and think, if I'm letting this go, what else am I letting go?
Well, and one of my biggest epiphanies was when I decided I was addicted to sugar and that I was going to quit and change. Everybody says that when you want to change an addiction, you need to change your surroundings. And not all of us can, decide, okay, I want to make a big lifestyle change. And so therefore, I'm going to move across the country and I'm going to get married to somebody else and I'm going to have new kids. Like, it doesn't work that way, obviously. But one of the best ways of creating change in order to change something in our lifestyle is to physically move things around. So you can rearrange your house, you can't necessarily go out and buy a new car, but you can change what happens inside your car, and you can actually set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
I mean, my car was my excuse to eat poorly. I would eat really well at home, but as soon as I got in my car, it was like, oh, I don't have to follow any of those rules anymore. And I was eating out 7 times a week. I was getting sodas and cookies every time I was going through the drive-through, and I didn't set myself up for success. And so there are changes that you can make in your car to be healthier, to be, so I started carrying, peanuts around with me so that I could snack on peanuts. I would always make sure that I had a water bottle in there so that I wasn't tempted to stop and get a soda.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I started buying, I'm not a big fan of buying cases of bottled water.
No.
But I have found, I started last summer, I started carrying a case of water in my car. And it was because we were always somewhere and somebody was thirsty.
All the time.
All the time. And we usually bring our reusable water bottle, but once it's gone, it's gone. And there's not usually an easy place to refill.
No.
And so we'd be driving around and everybody's thirsty. And then we end up at the gas station. We spend $10 on drinks and it was just stupid. So I started buying a case of water and I just leave it in my car.
That's awesome.
And what it has also done is it has allowed my kids to be more hydrated.
Yeah.
Because they're sitting there and they're captive.
Right.
And they can't go get juice or they can't go get chocolate milk or whatever. They have to drink water because it's the only thing available.
Yeah.
And so they actually were more hydrated as a result of it.
That's
so
awesome.
It was awesome. But yeah, setting yourself up for success with your car. And then I know I do a lot of work in my car.
Yes.
Whether I'm waiting to pick up kids or waiting for practice to be over, or whatever, I end up sitting in my car working. And so you can set yourself up successfully there by, making sure you always have pen and paper and your laptop or your charger or whatever you need for your work to be done so that you can be productive while you're sitting in the car as opposed to scrolling through social media.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I encourage people to treat, like you said, it's an extension of us. Your car is an extension of your house. You need to treat it like another room. And when we talk about rooms that get high frequency multi-purpose spaces, so your kitchen, a lot of times our living rooms, that one room in the house that's kind of the catch-all. It's everything goes in there, and it's the guest room, and it's the craft room, and it's the like 50 different things room. Your car is no different, especially if you're dealing with kids or you're sharing a vehicle. Whatever it is that you're doing in your car, the first thing you have to say is, what's the purpose of this space? Am I working out of my car? Am I running my kids to sporting events? What are you doing in your car? Set it up to work for you. So I have bins and baskets. The more you touch a space and the more coming and going that has to happen in the space, so whether this is pantries or kitchens or whatever multi-use space, garages, the more that happens in the space, the more containerized and sectioned off it needs to be.
Ooh, that's good advice.
So in my car, I just went to Walmart and got those little plastic crates that you can put files in.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you've got like the Costco ones, they're kind of ginormous.
Yeah.
And if you need something that big, get something that big, obviously. But I just got a couple of those. And in one of them, I have like my kid's DVD case, because my car is old enough that I still have a DVD player in my car. So they have the DVD case, a little container for garbage, and then like a tarp for random impromptu picnics. We have a flashlight in case somebody wants to read in the back seat. And we have a couple other little nicky-nacky things, and it all fits in this little basket. So I can grab it when I've got my kids in the car.
Perfect.
But when I'm working, I know that I can pull that out so that I can put my work case in the same spot. And then, we can rotate through sports equipment and things like that. But then there is a place in the garage where it goes when it's been pulled out of the car.
That's an important piece.
So you've got to make sure that the entire system is working in order for it all to stay put in place. So in order for your car to be contained and organized, you have to have the garage or the space that
Right.
everything else is going to go contained and organized as
Well, and you could have one of those containers with healthy snacks.
Yes, absolutely.
Healthy snacks for you and healthy snacks for your kids and whomever else. And you could totally stack it with things that are not perishable.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to be refrigerated, but that would prevent you from going through the drive-thru.
Yes.
Or running into the gas station and grabbing candy or whatever else, because it's hard to resist once you walk in that door. There's a case of donuts. There's all kinds of delicious
things. You just had
things.
to bring out the donuts, didn't you?
We can't go one episode without donuts. But
so what are some good non-perishable
snacks?
Well,
you mentioned nuts.
Yeah.
So
okay.
trail mix, but trail mix in its original form.
Yeah.
So my parents were Subaru type people. Now stereotypes are not always bad, and they are generally rooted in fact
Truth.
and truth. And so by a Subaru type person, I mean an outdoor, they like nature, and they also like to take care of the earth. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Totally do.
And so my parents, they did not actually have a Subaru until I got much older, but they are that type of people, and they used to bring Gorp.
Yes.
You remember Gorp?
Yes, I do.
And when I would talk about Gorp, my friends were like, what is that?
What's Gorp?
What's Gorp? Well, it's what all you city slickers call trail mix.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good old-fashioned raisins and peanuts.
Yep.
And that's what good trail mix is for you, is seeds, nuts, a little dried fruit, but remember that is full of sugar. When you dry a fruit, it takes out all the good stuff and leaves all the not as good for you stuff. Yep, it like concentrates the sugar. That's why it's so delicious. Anyway, but if you don't have the M&Ms and you don't have chocolate chips and all those other things in there, it's actually good for you. Some coconut,
and if
coconut,
dried
coconut
it as a fuel, I mean, what was Gorp for?
Right.
It was when you were
fuel you on the trail,
backpacking in 13 miles on a 110 day.
Yeah. You need dense
you
nutrients.
You needed that blast of carbohydrates that the dried fruit had, and you needed that protein and the healthy fats.
Yeah. Yep.
Your 3 basic food groups.
Yes.
But if we start thinking of it as fueling our body, but okay, now we're getting off on a tangent.
I love to do this. I love to go and make our own, because the pre-made stuff from the store is usually full of the things you don't need. So
this is not an excuse to go hunt for M&Ms.
Exactly. So we'll go and we'll make our own out of the bulk stuff at the grocery store, and everybody makes their own variety. So you can go, you have to be careful because it can get very expensive in a hurry if you let your kids just scoop and scoop and scoop. We learned that the hard way. But it lasts a long time, so it's fine. So you go and you make a big batch and then go make little baggies of it and put them in the car. That's so then brilliant. You've got that. You could easily keep apples or something in there. Especially if you're able to take it in and out, so they're not baking in the car all day.
Yes.
Apples and oranges don't necessarily have to be refrigerated. What else could you put in there?
And if you're worried about fresh fruit, get the fruit cups.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to watch the ingredients and make sure that, the first ingredient in there isn't sugar.
Or high fructose corn syrup. Yeah.
But, there are some alternatives.
Or like the applesauce squeezy packets. Yeah. Those are, there's a lot of things like that are not perishable that you can throw in there. And then it makes it kind of fun because the kids know that that's their snack or that's their treat. And maybe it's something special they only get in the car. Then it's really like a treat, and then they get excited about it. So... But you can find things like that. And then really thinking about, okay, how do I want my life to be? What do I need my life to be? And if I'm trying to clean up my body and I'm trying to clean up my home, but I'm allowing my car to be a pigsty, then I'm probably not succeeding. And the habits that you create, that you use to take care of yourself and to take care of your house, they go right through to your car. So cleaning up after yourself as you go. You do that at home. You make a meal, you clean up as you go.
Yep.
Then, here comes my food and beverage background, but clean as you go. And then you do it in the car too. You know, every time you get out of the car, you take all your trash with you. Every time you get out of the car, you take all the orange peels and whatever else. And that way you never have to do a big cleaning of the car.
Yeah. Well, and so many people ask me, they're like, okay, give me your best tips and tricks on remembering to do that. And there is no magic. I was gonna say,
I feel like there isn't one. Just do it.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is make it part of a system and a routine. I mean, make it part of, everybody says, okay, if you want to do more push-ups in a day, do push-ups in conjunction with something that you do all the time, every day. Every time
Right.
you go get a drink of water, you do 10 push-ups.
Right.
Every time you brush your teeth, you do 10 burpees. I mean, whatever it is, you connect activities together. So you say, okay, every Friday after I get home from work, it's the end of the work week. Before I go inside, before I consider my job done, I need to clean anything out and give it a quick once over with the shop vac.
That's a good idea.
And then every week, you know that you're starting with a fresh, clean car. So, I can't give you that discipline. We talked about that discipline and that motivation and how it has to be there, and it has to come from you. Set an alarm on your phone. Make an appointment with yourself to make sure that these things are happening how you want them to happen, and then have the discipline to stick with it. But set yourself up for success by at least having things contained. Know the purpose of the car and all the things that you need to do in the car, and then just make sure that everybody knows the system that you've set up so that they can help you be functional in that space.
Yep. And really it comes down to be a slob or don't. Mm-hmm. You just have to make a choice. The hard truth. You're in charge.
Welcome to us.
You're in charge. One choice is the lazy choice.
Yep.
One choice is the choice that will take you to be the person that you want to be.
And that's really as simple as it is, but we also know that change can be tricky. Yep. And it's hard to break old habits. And that's why Heather and I are here, is to help you along the way. So if you do need help making sure that your car is set up for successful eating and healthy habits, give Heather a call. Yep. Message her. If you need help setting up a car to be containerized and really well functioning as a system and as another room of your house, give me a call. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so make sure that you do connect with us, but your homework for this week is to make a change. Go find a container. Go create Gorp. Go do something to set up your car for success, for healthy, organized living, and let us know about it. So if you're watching on YouTube, post a comment below. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure that you get a hold of us and let us know how things are going for you so that we can cheer you on.
Yes, even if you're not driving your car very often.
Exactly. But our big ask for the week is that you share this podcast with somebody. If you love the podcast and if you've gotten anything out of it, please make sure that you're sharing it with somebody who can also benefit from having much more happiness in their home, head, and health.
Bye.